There's a brand new day ahead, so much to do, so much to see, so get your ass up out of bed. Get out now, time's wasted, there's no reward for hesitating.
Alright gang, here to talk about GMOs today. Okay, what do you think about GMOs, genetically modified organisms? People say, oh, GMOs are bad, it's terrible for you. It's not necessarily true, okay? For example, the corn that we eat is a GMO, okay? Poodles are GMOs, you know? The bananas that we eat are GMOs, you know? Corn and bananas are good examples. Corn, you know, in its natural state, maize, little tiny shit that doesn't provide much food. You know, the ears of corn that we have today are unheard of in the natural world, and that's made by genetic modification. Through selective breeding, we've been able to make bananas and corn and other foods that are much better for you, you know, much more substantial than what you'd get in the natural world. So, does that mean GMOs are good? You know, a lot of people say, oh, GMOs are made by science, it's good for you. Okay, that's not necessarily true either, okay? Like everything in reality, this is not a black and white situation, all right? For example, there are strains of vegetables and fruits being made that are highly resistant to the toxins found in certain pesticides and weed killers. Okay, the idea is keep the bugs from eating them, keep the weeds from competing with them, you get a better yield. So, that's a good thing, right? Is it? Now, is it as easy as washing this shit off of the surface of the fruit or vegetable? No. Okay, and here's why. Because it's in the ground, okay? It's soaking into the ground. These plants, these trees, are eating it through their roots. It's being incorporated into the makeup of the plant itself, which means it's being programmed into the fruit or the vegetable that you then consume. Okay, now, the point behind GMOs being good or bad is going to depend on the motivation behind the modification. Okay? Now, if you go into GMOs to make better, more substantial food for people in larger quantities, then it's a good thing. But if you're going into it for profit, then it's not. Okay, and here's why for that. Okay, if you're a factory farmer and you have the ability through genetic modification to make a lot of really good corn or a shit ton of questionable corn, you're going to make a shit ton of questionable corn. And the reason is because the more corn you have to sell, the more profit you make. Okay? You go into it for profit, you're invariably going to be making questionable GMOs because you can bulk up your inventory. Like those ones that are immune or highly resistant to these poisons. The point is, I want a lot of it. I don't care if it's got a little bit of poison maybe in there, you know, it's accumulative. You have to eat thousands and thousands of ears of corn for it to really affect you. You know, I'm justifying it to myself here because really I'm not worried about your food being good quality as much as I'm worried about I want to make as much money as possible. Okay, so once again goes down to all the human element. Science, good. We've made a lot of scientific breakthroughs that are great for humanity, okay? But we still have too much motivation for profit, which is going to take something like that and pervert it. So my point here for my video is GMOs are neither good or bad. It all comes down to the motivation behind them. And I think that as a humanity, we can make genetically modified foods, medicines, what have you, that are fantastic for us and really improve the human experience and jettison us into the future if we can get away from that get what you can, money, greed aspect of it. And I'm gonna cut out now and leave you with that. Leave me some comments, some feedback. What do you think about GMOs? Are they all good? Are they all bad? You know, what do you think? As usual, I prefer the middle road, and that's where I'm gonna cut off here, and we'll talk to you later.